내가 유럽에서 너무 행복했나봐요. 아.
Jungkook cries at Paris concert, then shares words that moved ARMY, I truly love Europe. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Pop Update, your go-to channel for the latest news, exciting updates, and unforgettable moments from the world of K-pop. Hello, K-pop lovers. ARMY, get ready. Because this time, we are talking about one of the most emotional moments involving Jungkook that has touched fans around the world. Jungkook once again showed a side of himself that made ARMY completely emotional. Not because of a spectacular dance performance. Not because of an incredible high note. Not because of an iconic stage moment. But because Jungkook simply stood there, overwhelmed by his own emotions. And then, he cried. Yes, ARMY. Jungkook was seen becoming emotional during the concert in Paris. The atmosphere inside the venue was already incredibly intense. Thousands of fans gathered together, singing, cheering, and giving their love to Jungkook. But in that particular moment, everything suddenly felt different. The energy changed. The cheers became even more emotional. And Jungkook appeared to be deeply touched by what he was experiencing. For a performer who has stood on countless stages around the world, moments like this remind us that behind the superstar image is simply Jungkook, a person who can feel overwhelmed, grateful, happy, and deeply connected to the people in front of him. And what happened next made the moment even more heartbreaking. Jungkook began talking about Europe. He reflected on how happy he felt being there. And then came a simple but incredibly emotional confession. Karasa aka benar-benar bahagia di Europa. I think I'm really happy in Europe. That sentence may sound simple. But considering the emotions Jungkook had just experienced, those words carried so much weight. He wasn't simply talking about traveling to another continent. He was talking about the feelings he had experienced there. The memories. The people. The atmosphere. The love from fans. The unforgettable moments on stage. And perhaps most importantly, the feeling of being welcomed and loved by so many people. Jungkook then took a breath. He seemed to gather himself. He sighed. And that tiny moment was enough to make ARMY emotional all over again. Sometimes, you don't need a long speech to understand what someone is feeling. A single sigh can say so much. And Jungkook's expression seemed to tell its own story. He had just experienced something powerful. Something that clearly touched his heart. Then he continued. I really want to come back to Europe as soon as possible. ARMY. Imagine hearing those words directly from Jungkook after seeing him become emotional on stage. It was incredibly touching. He wasn't saying that he wanted to return someday in some distant future. He said he wanted to come back as soon as possible. And then he emphasized it again. I already want to come back. That sentence immediately made fans emotional. Because it showed just how strongly Jungkook was feeling in that moment. The concert wasn't simply another stop on a tour. It seemed to have become a meaningful experience for him. An experience he didn't want to end. And then came another beautiful moment. Jimin responded. We are happy. Those words added another layer of warmth to the entire situation. It wasn't only Jungkook who was feeling the emotion. There was a sense that the members themselves were happy to be there. Happy to see the fans. Happy to perform. Happy to experience those moments together. And finally, Jungkook said something that made the entire moment even more unforgettable. I really love Europe. Just a few words. But for ARMY, those words meant so much. I really love Europe. It sounded like a sincere confession from someone who had just experienced something unforgettable. And that's exactly why this moment has touched so many fans. Because Jungkook wasn't trying to create a dramatic moment. He wasn't delivering a carefully prepared speech. He was simply expressing what he genuinely felt. And sometimes, those are the moments that fans remember the longest. The emotional side of Jungkook. For years, ARMY have seen Jungkook grow from a young trainee into one of the biggest stars in the world. Fans have watched him perform on enormous stages. They have seen him sing in front of thousands of people. They have watched him dance with incredible precision. They have seen him confidently command the stage. But moments like this remind fans that Jungkook is also someone who feels things very deeply. Behind the powerful performer is someone who can become emotional when he feels genuine love and gratitude. And perhaps that's why this moment feels so special. Jungkook didn't need to say something complicated. He simply allowed his emotions to show. And ARMY understood. The love between Jungkook and ARMY. One of the most beautiful things about BTS and ARMY has always been the connection between the artists and their fans. It goes beyond music. It goes beyond concerts. It goes beyond numbers and achievements. There is an emotional connection that has been built over many years. And whenever Jungkook becomes emotional on stage, fans often feel emotional with him. Because they understand that the journey hasn't always been easy. There have been countless hours of practice. Countless flights. Countless performances. Countless moments of pressure. And yet, Jungkook continues to stand on stage and give everything he has. So when he finally stops and says that he is truly happy in Europe, fans can't help but feel proud. They know how much work goes into creating these moments. The Paris moment becomes even more special. Paris became one of the most unforgettable moments for Jungkook and ARMY. In the middle of an energetic concert, Jungkook showed his emotional side. He admitted that he was truly happy to be in Europe, even letting out a deep sigh as if he was trying to hold back his emotions. What touched fans the most was when Jungkook said that he wanted to return to Europe as soon as possible. It felt as though his experience with ARMY there still wasn't enough and he wasn't ready for everything to end. Jimin then added, "We are happy," making the moment even warmer. It felt like the happiness wasn't only felt by Jungkook, but also by the members and ARMY. Then Jungkook delivered the words that touched fans even more. "I really love Europe." Those simple words felt incredibly sincere. Jungkook wasn't talking about the concert, the stage, or success. He was talking about his feelings and the happiness he experienced with his fans. The moment also revealed another side of the Golden Maknae. Behind his charisma, incredible singing, and amazing performances, Jungkook is still someone who can be deeply moved by a beautiful memory. For ARMY, this will certainly be a moment that is difficult to forget. His tears, his sigh, his desire to return, and his confession that he loves Europe all became part of a beautiful memory in Paris. And perhaps, someday when Jungkook returns to Europe, ARMY will remember this moment, when he stood on stage and said that he was truly happy. So, ARMY, how did you feel watching Jungkook's emotional moment in Paris? Were you also touched when he said that he wanted to return to Europe as soon as possible? Don't forget to like, subscribe to K-pop Update, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the latest and hottest news from the world of K-pop. Thank you so much for watching, and see you again in the next video, only on K-pop Update.